Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Så att du kan synkera konsoldater, konsolferino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Yo, let's get it started. Indeed, I am Jason. That's Ben. We are Wanna Bet. We thank you guys for tuning in. If you watched yesterday and you don't watch all the time, our buddy Eric Vasilius from our Super Discord joins us on Mondays. Most of the time, it is Ben and I grinding away, trying to find value in these mean gambling streets. We give you our favorite plays of the day every day. Yeah, every day, 7 days a week. I'm going to say between last May 21st when we launched and next May 21st, Beltway Ben, 365 days in a year, I'm going to bet we end up with 330 shows. I think definitely well north of 325. Yeah. And most of those shows have been very profitable for you guys. Our format's pretty simple. I stole it from my buddies Mike and Tony at PTI. We used to kind of have a discussion segment, which we could maybe go back to at a certain point in time if things are happening in the betting markets that we think warrant further discussion with an expert in that field. But first, second, third down are our three favorite plays of the day. Fourth down is a chance to get you paid quickly, fourth and short in these games right away, or fourth and long. A long shot bet or a long-term bet like a future that you're going to have to wait to get paid on. Overtime, it's football and football season. NFL or soccer parlays or NCAA football parlays every single day in football season. We also show our work here. I continue to just scratch and claw, Beltway Ben. Scratch and claw to stay in the green. Got to turn it around. Before I get to my night, though, let's start with yours, Beltway Ben. Because look, that NFL game, if you were on any overs, you were screwed. But I think it's only the second time in the history of this show that we've given out a triple-double bet. And you did one on a guy who's not exactly Jokic when it comes to this stuff, and it hit.
Yeah. Quick tease. Stick around. We will have another triple-double today.
Nice. Give me the two-mallet salute.
A little tease there. But no, Cade Cunningham, a half a unit, triple-double. We said we took his regular rebounds. We went 2-8 yesterday, but we finished profitable because of plus 1,500 play, half a unit. We finished up 7.5 units on that type of play. It was sweaty. I thought at halftime I felt amazing. Cade it was well on his way. I mean, he had 5 assists, but that's not an issue against the Wizards. Now the fourth quarter's going. This dude is chucking, and I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. The game-tying three-pointer. I thought Cade might be on the court instead of throwing the ball in. And I'm watching with my dad and my friends. I'm like, oh, my God, Cade's throwing it in. I'm like, it's going to take a miracle still. They're not playing for a 2. They need a 3 to tie it.
Yep.
Oh, he throws it in the corner, and we cashed a big-time triple-double play. So that was good. And as I said before, like as bad of a night as it was record-wise for me, we still finished profitable because we cashed big there. And then we also had Porzingis 2+ threes. He goes 1 for 5, had a number of clean looks. I didn't feel terrible about that. And he shoots one with a minute left where I'm standing up. I just got home, standing up out of my bed, and he bricks it. So those lost. As Jason said, if you had over props in the Eagles-Packers game, it was like Thursday night. I mean, I'm a prop guy. I play more props than sides. I was also on Jalen Hurts touchdown. I tailed that with you guys. We had his rushing yards 27.5. He doesn't pick up one from halfway through the third quarter on, and he finishes at 27 rushing yards. I think that's just kind of how the night was in football in general. Romeo Doubs gets hurt, but even before he got hurt, he wasn't doing anything. As I said, though, Cade Cunningham really kept us up last night, and it was a good night.
Yeah, look, I think Hurts, if he doesn't fumble there early, I think that's probably his touchdown drive to finish it on the ground. We'll never know because he did fumble. The Eagles had turned the ball over 3 times all year. That hurt. Look, we did great on the NFL game. That one didn't hit. Like, Goddard was one of the only people showing up in the passing game. Again, there just wasn't much there. So we took a flyer on the first half Goddard touchdown. Eagles money line got a little sweaty at the end. We thought it was an under game, and our Josh Jacobs plus 169 or whatever it was. 3 or more receptions, and a anytime touchdown. I'm telling you, I'm jumping that on Bet365 as soon as it populates, Ben, which should be today. I'm jumping that for next week against the Giants. Look, Ben talked about that Pistons game. I felt like a really well-constructed 4-leg NBA parlay. The leg that didn't hit was the Pistons. We needed the Pistons. We took that down to 6.5. They ended up winning by 2 or 3. Ben, they missed 28 three-pointers. They missed 28 three-pointers. Your guy Cunningham, on the way to his triple-double, missed 31 shots. The Pistons, against the worst defensive team in the league at home, were 47 of 114. They shot 47 of 114 from the field. It was impossible. If they had just taken 10 less threes and lobbed it inside where Dorian could get whatever he wanted, anybody could get whatever they wanted, like, that one blew me away. And look, UNC Wilmington, I would make that bet 10 times over. They're at Kent State. 12 minutes in, Beltway, Ben, it's 27-9. UNC Wilmington is shooting 27% from the field. Like, you can't make that up. Like you can't account for that. Like, that's crazy. They still tied the game twice. They scored 77 points in that game, Beltway, Ben. That means they scored 68 points on the road in the final 28 minutes of that game. Again, 9 points in the first 12 minutes. They're down 27-9. They still tied it twice. Kent State hit lucky threes both times they tied it. They could never get that lead. Once they got their rotations right and played the two big men together, they took over. They dominated. They came back from 20 down basically by halftime almost. Yep. So look,
100%.
It happens. But like literally the teams I needed, I'm sitting there at the half, and the Pistons are shooting 35% from the field. And UNC Wilmington's shooting like 28% from the field. And I'm like, you know, F me. Anyway, here we go. On to today's show. First down. Give me the Oklahoma Sooners to score 100 points tonight, Beltway, Ben. They are playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. Look, this is a great combination. Arkansas Pine Bluff last year in KenPom ratings, 359th out of 365 schools in defensive rating, and 16th in the country in pace. Not only do they not defend, they let you get off 200 shots while they don't defend, and they try to match you 200 shots for 200 shots. Now, look, the more work I've done on them, like they've got an interesting incoming class. Like I think they did really well in the portal, and I bet they do all right in the SWAC. But this is an Oklahoma team that just put 102 on St. Francis. I know 100 sounds like a big number. Loyola Marymount, who is not a run and gun team at all. This ain't the Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball, Paul Westhead teams from back in the day. They're not a high volume team. They scored 94 the other night on Arkansas Pine Bluff. Like, we saw Northwestern hang 110 on somebody last night. Like, you're seeing 109s and 108s. Oklahoma is in the top 100 in pace. Oklahoma last year, 24th in offensive rating per KenPom. Again, like, is Arkansas Pine Bluff a little bit better? I mean, maybe. But, like, they're a dead over team, period. They're a dead over team since 2023 playing outside their conference. And I feel like, Ben, college basketball is becoming a little bit like college football with the KenPoms and the analytics now factoring in so much. They want to run up their net rating. Like, they're seeing other, like, wait a minute. Loyola Marymount scored 94 on these Jamokes. Let's shoot for 104. Like, I know that feels like a big number, and it is a big number. And look, have I sprinkled on just the plain over in this game, which is around 167.5? Because I think Pine Bluff might score a little more. They got a kid from the G League, an international kid. Like, it's an interesting, like, the roster is quasi-interesting. But at the end of the day, I think the Sooners get 100 here at home. That's where I am. Give me the Sooners to score 100 minus 134 for the Apple bottoms and the Spotifyers. But wait, Ben?
Yeah, another interesting there with college basketball in general. When you get those types of matchups with big spreads like that, teams aren't dribbling out the clock late. They're letting their walk-ons try to score. And two possessions late in the game with walk-ons on the court could be the difference. So I do like that. And early in the season, I know people look at college basketball 99.5 point totals. It's not abnormal to see a lot of these teams go over.
Overs are hitting at like 56% for the year. And big favorites of 20 or more are covering. These aren't conference games. People aren't slowing it down. They're figuring things out. These games aren't as physical. You're looking at a lot of shots getting off. Now, some teams are not in great mode making shots. Like my Seahawks from UNC Wilmington in the first 12 minutes of that game last night when they scored 9 points. But it's a risk I'm willing to take here.
I'm going to go to college football for first down. One of the props that we like to attack is these types of markets, and we're going to go with Western Michigan over 175.5 rushing yards at minus 114. You can find this at FanDuel. They're over this in 4 of their last 5 games. Northern Illinois has only allowed their opponents over this in 2 of their last 5. With that being said, it was Miami of Ohio and Ohio. Daquan Finn is the quarterback of Miami of Ohio. He's a running quarterback, picks up a lot of yards on the ground. You look at a lot of quarterbacks throughout the country who don't run as much. They finish with negative yards because of sacks. Finn hasn't finished with that. You look at Ohio, Parker Navarro. He's another guy. Uses his legs a lot, makes plays with his legs. He's one of the better running quarterbacks in this conference. Now, the best running quarterback in this conference is here in this game, Brock Lowry at Western Michigan. I mean, he's a run-first quarterback. He's not throwing the football a ton, but he does lead this team in rushing. He's got 82-plus rushing yards in 4 straight games as a quarterback. He hasn't gone under 40 rushing yards since week 1. And he's tough. He breaks tackles. He doesn't slide a lot. Like, he's looking to make plays. We lost this against Northern Illinois last week, but that was an odd game. It was a blowout. They could have ran the ball a lot more, but their passing game was a little bit better than what Western Michigan's is. That being said, Western Michigan's run game is far better than anything that they had on the ground. They also have Jalen Buckley, who's been solid as a running back 1. Things are a lot easier when your quarterback is mobile and takes defenders away from the run game to focus on that quarterback. So I do like them to go over it. We also lost a kick return last week to start the game. That's a whole possession. And I know it sounds crazy. We lost by 8 yards. You're telling me if they don't return that for
you lost plays, you lost volume.
Yep. And to start the game, it's just a different type of thing. So I don't think that'll happen tonight, but I do think Western Michigan will have a lot of success on the ground. I like them over 175.5 rushing yards at minus 114.
Second down for us, we're going back to it's November's good for overs in college hoops and unders in the NFL. We're going to another. I don't even know. You can't even really call these guys mid-majors. They're low mid-majors, or in the case of Morgan, the MEAC, I think, is just a low. I don't know. UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, at Morgan State. These teams are separated by, I don't know, probably 17 miles. Their campuses, both here in the Baltimore area. These teams out of conference are dead over teams. UMBC since 2023, 19-8 to the over out of conference. Morgan, 19-9 to the over since 2023 out of conference. They last played in 2023. 172 points were scored in those games. These are both up-tempo run-and-gun teams. In the case of Morgan, much like Arkansas Pine Bluff, they play no defense. Last year, Morgan ranked 331st out of 365 teams in KenPom defensive rating. They also were 35th in pace. They're trying to make a lot of shots. They're letting you get off a ton of shots. UMBC lost one of their key guards, but they're still playing at a fairly frenetic pace. They were 36th in KenPom pace. So both these teams topped 36 last year in KenPom pace. UMBC hung like 80 on Maryland and almost beat them in the final scrimmage. Closed door for whatever that's worth. I got to think it's probably worth something. And look, is Morgan a little better defensively? I mean, maybe. Here's what I do know. Morgan made 11 threes the other night. Morgan's three-point shooting has to be better than it was a year ago. They're going to chuck a ton up. UMBC is not a great defensive team. I think both these teams are going to be draining threes. Like, go and look at the Morgan-Georgetown game. We saw Georgetown against Maryland. Georgetown is not a prolific offensive team right now. Georgetown is not a run-and-gun team. Georgetown hung 87 on Morgan, Beltway Ben, despite going 4 of 26 from three-point land. They hung 87 on Morgan, despite missing 12 foul shots. UMBC's got the size advantage. Morgan fouls like crazy. UMBC's going to make threes. UMBC's going to get to the line. We're going to play this game over 166.5 minus 105.
Yeah, also real quick before I get to my second down, you can mark me down, Meatball official play. We do have Meatball here. Meatball official play. We're going UMBC on the money line at minus 155. Jason talked about the matchup. Listen, UMBC just took a solid Dayton team like down to the end. It was a 6-point game, and they can score with anybody. when you look at both rosters, I mean, UMBC has a much better squad. Now, they're not going to play much defense. Morgan's going to score, but I think UMBC will end up outscoring them, and I think they get a win here. I was impressed what I saw against Dayton. And Morgan, you can make the argument Morgan played well against Georgetown, but not fully buying it. Next for second down here, though, we're going to a same-game parlay. The Pacers versus the Jazz. We're going to go with Pascal Siakam, 20-plus points, Andrew Nembhard, 6-plus assists, and Lauri Markkanen, 4-plus rebounds at -104. Was hoping that we could get this to plus money, but didn't want to add anything I don't want and keep it right here. And we're basically plus money. I mean, it's -104. You're paying 4 extra cents. Pascal Siakam, 20-plus points. We saw how good he was to start the year. Now, he was playing great basketball when Nembhard was out. Since Nembhard's return, they played one game together. He wasn't scoring as much as he was before. That being said, his number's 25.5 tonight. They're playing the Utah Jazz, who are horrendous defensively. I don't see how he doesn't go for 20-plus points here. I did lean his regular number, but I'd rather play it safe here and add in Nembhard 6-plus assists against a Jazz team who, as I said, they're allowing 28.5 assists per game. That is the third most in the NBA. They don't play much defense. They're going to allow a team like the Pacers to score 120. They're just going to try to outscore them or not because they'll be tanking. And then Markkanen, the Pacers allow the third most rebounds in the NBA as well. Like, Markkanen's going to be strong on the glass. He's had 4 rebounds in all but one game this season. I don't see how anything changes here tonight. They're going to be chucking both sides. And again, I think Pascal is going to get inside, work a little bit. No Kessler is tough for the Jazz in general. It also helps Markkanen grab more boards because Kessler, of course, cleaned a lot of stuff off the glass. So I like Pascal Siakam, 20-plus points, Andrew Nembhard, 6-plus assists, and Lauri Markkanen, 4-plus rebounds for -104.
Excellent. Third down, I've got an NBA parlay, Beltway Ben, as well. It's 2 legs of a same gamer. And then another leg from a different game. We like Denver to beat Sacramento. We're not going to play around with the point spread. Just give us the Nuggets to beat the Kings on the money line. Denver's beat them in 6 straight meetings. They've won all those meetings by 6 or more points. Sabonis just came back, but if you followed him over the years, when he first come, when he's just back from an absence, those games tend to be janky. He tries to do too much and show everybody how important he is and miss a ton of shots. The Nuggets look pretty locked into me, man. They look like a team that's a little motivated about how last season ended, and I know they're better at home than on the road, but this is a spot where I expect them to show up and win that game. Now we're going to take that Knicks-Grizzlies game, and we're going to play with the numbers. We're going to take the Knicks. That's going to go off at over 10 points. We're going to lay 6.5 with the Knicks, and we're going to play the Knicks to hold the Grizzlies under 119. A lot of things standing out about the Knicks right now. First of all, they've won 5 in a row at home. They're 6-0. I'm sorry, they've won 5 in a row at home. They're 6-0 against the spread at home. They've covered those games by 20.5, 19.5, 4, 4, 6, and 9.5. Again, we're taking it down to 6.5. You're looking at a Knicks team that at home is number 2 in offensive rating. They're number 2 in net rating. Look at them take home road out of it. This is an elite rebounding team. Number 1 in defensive rebounding percentage. And I love the fact that they're 8th in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio. And against a Memphis team that's struggling to score, with Ja Morant, who from night to night looks like he's trying to get out of town, the fact that they're not going to give up second chance shots, the fact that the one area where the Knicks are a little bit weak is defending the 3 ball, Memphis is 22nd in the league in 3-point percentage. They're 10th in attempts, but only 22nd in percentage that they make. Like, they're 26th overall in field goal percentage. They've scored over 118 2 of the 11 games they've played. They've also, Beltway Ben, played almost exclusively at home. Now, they've only played 3 road games all season. Now, it's a bad covering team, 3-8 against the spread, that's got to go to MSG where the Knicks are in good form. And look, could the Knicks take the foot off the gas? Could this one get sideways? Some of the Memphis games have. Yeah, that's possible. But good luck to Memphis scoring in the paint against the Knicks where they're dominant. Good luck getting a whole lot of rebounds and a whole lot of second chance shots. And they just haven't been able to hit their 3 balls. Now, we'll see if that beats me. But Knicks minus 6.5. Grizzlies under 119. Nuggets to beat the Sacktown Kings plus 121 for the Spotifyers and the Apple Bottoms.
Kind of hinted at it earlier when Jason and I were talking about triple doubles and everything.
Yeah, I thought about this one.
Jason brought up a name, and that's where I decided to go. This morning, just looking through it, and kind of going back and forth. He did this in 4 straight to start the season. I like Nikola Jokic triple-double at -105. As I said, 4 straight to start the season. Since then, he's over in just 2 of 5. That being said, it's close in all of them. The 3 that he hasn't gone over, he had 9 assists, 1 assist short, had more than enough rebounds. 7 rebounds, which was against the Kings team, and then 9 assists and 9 rebounds, finished 1 short of each. The good thing here, every moment in this game, you'll feel like you have a shot. And you always love that with your props because Jokic will be close at every moment. Now, we're trying to cash. We're not trying to come close. That doesn't benefit us at all. That being said, though, I just don't see this being to the point where in the fourth quarter we have no chance. There's a lot of those NBA plays where the blowout changes things. I don't know that this is going to be an absolute blowout tonight. The Kings aren't very good, but they can score a little bit. And the Nuggets are playing really good basketball. I mean, they've been one of the better teams in the NBA. But Jokic has had triple doubles in first halves before, and he could do it again tonight in a matchup like this. Playing a bad Kings defense and always being aggressive on the glass. He's good on the offensive glass. He's good defensively. And quite honestly, I mean, he doesn't go out there looking for 30. Like last night with Cade with his triple-double, he was shooting. He took 31 shots or missed 31 shots. Like shooting. Jokic doesn't do that. Jokic will get his 10 points will be no issue here, but he's also trying to make his teammates better, getting his teammates open, and will play, non-selfish basketball. So I always love taking Jokic triple doubles when I do, and finding this at -105 in a spot where it's -140 and -150. To me, it was just too good to pass on. So again, Nikola Jokic triple double at -105.
I like it. Ben, we're aligned. Now I touched my screen, so I moved the camera. Look at that. The bet's like almost perfect.
It's
And
nice.
you want to bet. How about that? That's got to be a good sign, right?
Yeah,
that's as perfect as it's going to get because your logo is
Right.
bigger than mine.
Right.
I mean, that's as good as I think it's ever going to get.
So is that? So you're saying
we
it's
should
like a
freeze frame
10-unit
that.
night? 10-unit night, maybe. Hopefully, we need one,
Bro,
We need one.
Christmas around the corner. Yeah. With the way it's going for me, double tuition payments due in the next month. Yeah, that'd be nice. Fourth down for me is going to be 4th and long because we are backing a long shot. We're backing, staying in this region in college basketball. We're backing the Navy midshipmen. We're playing this 2 ways. Give us Navy on the money line at Penn State plus 540. We are laying a half unit on that. Our good old friend Choppy Copper, RIP, half unit on Navy money line. And then we're also going to take the 10.5 with Navy. Very interesting game here, Ben. If you looked at these markets, like say last night around midnight before I went to bed, you would have seen variance in the marketplace. Navy catching anywhere between 12 to 13.5 points. If you look right now, it's 10.5 everywhere. Uniformity. Some stuff came in on Navy, and rightfully so. Second half of last year, there were one better teams in the Patriot League. The coaches picked them to win the Patriot League. In an era of chaos in college basketball, they have continuity. They already know who they are. I talked about me losing that bet, Wilmington at Kent State, because they're playing around with their lineups early and trying to figure things out. Navy doesn't have to worry about that. Penn State does. Penn State couldn't score the ball last year. Penn State lost both their big men. Penn State almost lost to a D2 team the other night. Like, I know Penn State at home is tough, yada, yada, yada. Penn State looks pretty off to me. And if Navy can get off to a hot start here, Penn State's not going to close gaps with the 3 ball. Navy's a smart team. Navy doesn't turn the ball over a ton. Navy's experience, I know it's a new coach, but he's coming from within, so it's not like they're changing everything up. Look, if you made me put a line on this, I think it's more like Navy plus 4.5. Like, I think it's less than a two full possession game. So at 10.5 and then a sprinkle on, maybe Penn State really is that bad. Like, maybe the D2 game, and just go look at that box score. Like, and it wasn't even a great D2 team. Like, maybe there's something a little off there. Like, maybe they're going to be even less efficient offensively than normal. So we're riding with the midshipmen. A unit on Navy plus 10.5 and a half unit on Navy to win the game plus 540.
I'm going with an underdog as well, but it's still going to be 4th and short for me because we're going with the first half. We're going to go with Texas Tech on the money line in the first half at plus 136. Now, I'm fully acknowledging here, this is a risk. Illinois is way more depth. That's why I took it in the first half. I was going to take Texas Tech on the money line straight up for the game, but I think that their starting 5 won't be as gassed in the first half, or in the second half, we could see Illinois run and gun and take them out of the game. JT Toppin and Christian Anderson are going to be the two best players on the court in this matchup. Now, Stojakovic, he's back for Illinois. Boswell's playing great basketball. And Boswell also was one of those guys that reclassed ahead, so he was younger when he got to Arizona, played for Team USA. He's been all around. Great basketball player. That being said, Christian Anderson and JT Toppin are the two best players on the court. Now, they also get a great addition in Atwell from UNC Greensboro, was one of their best players. And now with Texas Tech, like we've seen him take an even bigger step, things he wasn't even doing when he was playing in that conference at UNC Greensboro. But I do think Texas Tech is going to give Illinois some problems tonight. I like them to win the game regularly, but as I said, with the depth that Illinois has and Texas Tech not really able to go too deep into their bench, I don't think they'll be gassed in the first half, but the second half is an area that concerns me a little bit with them. So we're just going to keep it to the first half of the money line, and we're still getting a fair price, plus 136 here, not much different than the regular game odds. Again, Texas Tech basketball, first half on the money line at plus 136 in a matchup with Illinois on the road. It is at Illinois tonight. That always gives you some concern, but it's going to be tough for them as well. I mean, it's a big time matchup, a great team coming in. As I said with Toppin, shot block guy. They don't have one of the Visich brothers, the better one. So I do think it's going to be a big night for Toppin. I think Texas Tech wins the first half.
Yeah, Illinois lost a lot, man. That's one that's like a total reboot. Overtime. Thursday night football. We want to get a little jump on that because I don't think this is going to be available much longer at this value. A lot of shops will not let you put together parlays on NFL games this early in the week, Thursday or not. The one who generally will before all others that I can find, and I look at them all, and I've got an app that shows me a lot of things in real time, pretty much 12 different books in real time. So maybe not everything, but pretty much everything. I don't see a lot of people who let you do this. But right now you can go to Bet365 and you could play Drake May to throw 2 or more passing touchdowns, Drake May for at least 200 passing yards, and the Patriots to win that game by 7 points on Thursday night, plus 120. Again, this thing's probably going to go off at 11, maybe 11 and a half, maybe 12. We're going to take it down to a single score and say that the Patriots, who are undefeated, like 7-0 with Christian Gonzalez in the lineup, allowing 16 points per game, and who have one of the better offenses going in the NFL right now, and who are getting a bad team at home, a bad team that's won a couple games and is probably starting to feel a little bit inflated about itself, a bad team that's winning games despite having 60 passing yards. They cannot play from behind at all, can the Jets. So we're comfortable laying 7 here. Look, Drake May, he's thrown for 2 or more passing touchdowns in 5 straight games. He's done it in 8 of the last 9 games. The Jets have allowed 17 passing touchdowns over 9 games. They've allowed 12 passing touchdowns in the last 6, and they face some bad quarterbacks like Dylan Gabriel, who just did it to them. The 200 yards, Drake May's got 203 passing yards or more in every game, including, obviously, some blowouts. He's thrown for 222 in 9 of 10 games. It's not a great Jets secondary. It's not a great Jets pass rush. I mean, look, there's always risk. Does he throw for 175 because it's like Sam Darnold last week and he only throws the ball 12 times? Because Justin Fields throws a pick 6 and there's a special teams touchdown? Them's the breaks. Trust me. I know all about it firsthand. But even if Mike Vrabel goes a little conservative here, they're also trying to win, trying to send a message to the Bills, and probably trying to keep this kid in the MVP conversation. So I'm comfortable with that bet at plus 120.
Yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet as always. We have 2 overtime plays, one in the NBA and one in college basketball. Nikola Jokic double-double, Brandon Ingram 15-plus points, and Joel Embiid 20-plus points, plus 105. Joel Embiid's minus 184. In a matchup with the Celtics, and he played 26 minutes last time he was on the court. He's coming off a game where he didn't play. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this is a fine spot to get him for 20-plus points. Now, I talked about it time and time again. I think they're a better team when he's off the court. Nurse ain't putting him on the bench. I mean, he'll play the minutes that he's supposed to, and when he's on the court, he's going to take his shots. Nikola Jokic double-double. Did this the last time they matched up with the Kings. Between 10 rebounds or 10 assists, he's getting one of the 2, and we don't have to worry about the points. So I do think it'll be a no-brainer to throw Jokic double-double in, and Brandon Ingram 15-plus points. You get a matchup with a bad defense. Ingram is scoring at will. He's been one of the better scorers in the NBA since that trade over there, and it's not really inconsistent. Like, he's gone under this in just 1 game since being traded over there. They need him to continue scoring because they have a lot of guys who do things well, but nobody that's the true scorer that Brandon Ingram is. Maybe Emmanuel quickly, but I still think Brandon Ingram's the guy. So again, Nikola Jokic double-double, Brandon Ingram 15-plus points, and Joel Embiid 20-plus points. That's plus 105. And then our college basketball parlay. We're going back to UMBC on the money line. We'll throw them in, and we're going to bring 2 team totals down against low majors. Duke, team total 82.5, and Arkansas team total 87.5 plus 128 here. UMBC I talked about before. I feel pretty good about them in that type of matchup. Arkansas is coming off of a loss that we saw. I was on their money line. Tough loss. I wasn't happy, but at the same time, their offense looked fine at Michigan State. They didn't score a ton of points, but we know their offense can come.
Sparty at home, man.
Exactly.
It's a different thing.
Right. It's
different
100%.
animal.
It's and the crap. Like it's just there's a lot there. And then you get Duke. Like Duke did it their last tight game. I don't see Duke having any issues going here at home at Cameron. That crowd's going to be crazy. Army's a fine team. They're not shutting Duke down. They might be able to score a little bit to keep it under the 32.5 point spread, but I don't think Army shuts Duke under 82.5. So again, UMBC on the money line, Duke's team total over 82.5, and Arkansas against Central Arkansas team total over 87.5 plus 128.
Wonder what would happen if you played that Duke total, that Arkansas total, and then took Oklahoma down to like 89.5. Did a little 3-way souffle that way. Wonder what that might look like.
That's good.
Might be interesting. Might be interesting. If I didn't have to take my car back to the shop because now the brakes are shot after the catalytic converter was shot, maybe we would have time to record one of those Spotify or only's Beltway Ben and put that parlay together. But I might be able to. I might be at the station early, so who knows? Maybe if we're both there early enough, maybe we figure out a little something extra spicy for the audio side. So anyway, you guys, obviously, these are suggestions. You guys can pull from any of these and do whatever you want with it. But I wonder if you took Oklahoma down to like 89.5. Added it to those other two. Might be interesting. That is our show. As always, we will show you how we did last night before we get out of here. All our picks in real time as we make them for the value we get them. We log everything in this. I keep biting my tongue. We log everything in the Super Discord. That's probably not a good sign. We will be back tomorrow, I guess, at noon, Ben, or you want to go earlier? It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, we can go for noon. I think we might be live at the same time tomorrow. Hopefully.
Oh, if we can get the new laptop going.
All
right.
We're gonna have the laptop. We just need it to be
if it's working, right? If it's functioning. Okay. Well, we've got exciting times here. More technological advances on the way. We know you want to bet. We want to bet, and we thank you as always for betting with us.